Chapter 137 to 138. Hours ago in Dressrosa, Doflamingo was escorting two people out of the royal palace. The sound of three people's footsteps were overlapping each other as they finally reached the rooftop of the palace. The two guests walked in front while Doffy stopped a few steps behind them, waiting for them to turn around. As Doffy thought, they both turned around and looked at him. The large and buff man with a tattoo and scar on his torso laughed. "Wororo, Doflamingo, you don't have to escort us any further. This is enough." Hearing him, Doffy snickered. "Ku, as you wish, Kaido, though I don't mind escorting you to Wano if you want." Besides the other man, another tall figure wearing a black suit covering him head to toe nodded. "No need. Kaido-sama and I have work to do." Indeed, they were Kaido and King. They exchanged some more words before King opened his mouth again. "All right, then we will be off then." "Keep up the good work, Warlord." Doffy nodded as Kaido ignored them and transformed into his dragon form, leaping into the air. King followed suit. As their figures vanished, Doffy could only sigh in relief. Sigh. He then gulped his saliva. This past week, Doflamingo was thoroughly considering if he should tell Kaido about Amon's small trip here or not. Instantly, he shook his head. No, that bastard will definitely kill me. Even if Kaido does kill him later on, I am sure before dying I would be executed by him along with my family. Clenching his fist hard, Doffy chuckled. He couldn't believe he'd be cornered like this one day. Anyways, it's better to keep Kaido in the dark, or else both of these crazy emperor bastards will be after me. Ku. Doffy chuckled nervously, while from afar, Viola was observing everything with her devil fruit ability. Puff, wah! King flapped his wings as he passed by some birds in the sky. He was somewhat faster than Kaido, but he was still following behind him. After a while his earbuds rung, he slowed down to receive the call. Not long after, King went towards Kaido's massive face. While the wind was blowing fast and rough, the two started to chat. "Kaido-sama!" "What is it, King?" Kaido replied to him in his usual tone. "Kaido-sama, the guy we are after. Bounty hunter Sidre. He's started a fight with the beast pirates already. Since there are only the gifters against them, it seems we are losing." Kaido's veins started emerging upon hearing that. "Huh? Then speed up, King! Worororo!" Kaido's speed drastically increased as he used more yellow clouds to help his flight. King also increased his speed. Sidra is a bounty hunter, one of the few bounty hunters working in the New World. For a while, he was called the best at his field before Amon came to be. Cedar has a deep hatred for pirates, especially devil fruit-using ones, and possesses a serious desire to kill them all. This desire is not out of any sort of altruism, but rather stems entirely from a love of money and the desire to gain revenge after being attacked by Douglas Bullet many years ago. In canon, he was pretty weak and was prone to boasting about his purely weapon-based abilities, and was confident that he could take down any pirate, even monstrous ones like Bullet, Boa Hancock, and Monkey D. Luffy, even though he lacked any forms of special abilities like devil fruits or haki. However, all those were boasts, as he was always defeated like any typical villain. Nonetheless, working under Amon, he was forced to learn haki and was much more powerful than his canon counterpart. Being a part of Amon's hidden battalion, Sidra was forced to do as Amon asked him, so he was now distracting the beast's pirates according to his boss's orders. However, he wasn't scared. Rather, he was excited. Being arrogant, he heavily underestimated all the emperors other than Amon. He even assumed when Kaido would come, he might kill him. Obviously, today, only death waited for him. When Kaido's troops arrived to fight off Sidra's guild a while ago, the battle was one-sided and the bounty hunters were on the winning side. The guild and the pirates were fighting because of one rumor. The guild supposedly holds an ancient Zoan, and Kaido wants the fruit. He wanted to simply buy it from the guild, but Sidra refused. In truth, this was a ploy, and such a fruit never existed. Amon planned to use Sidra as a decoy to keep Kaido busy for a while, even if it's an hour. He knew Sidra would die, but his value to him was too little to even care. Bam! Sidra and his guild were fighting the Beast Pirates' gifters. They were easily handled with Sidra Guild's water weapons. The guild possesses surprisingly good and high-tech weapons. This was shown in the movie and anime, too. The fight was taking place in the middle of the sea. There were no islands around, only the blue sea was in sight. In the sea, there were more than 40 ships surrounding another big ship, the ship of Sidra's guild. Do. From the big ship, Sidra fired a water cannon towards one of the beast pirates' ships, which brought it down easily. Shuwa-wawa, Emperor of the Sea! This is easier than I thought. Sidra laughed as he continued to shoot down the ships. There were many ships, but they were no match for Sidra's water guns. After all, they were reinforced by space technology. Even though the beast's pirates had the advantage in number, their 40 ships seemed to be on the losing end. They were being attacked with hydro cannons and rail guns fired from the big ship while they were just shooting measly cannonballs. Things were looking good for Sidra. However, they were soon about to take a turn. Not long after the sky turned dark, it wasn't because of clouds, rather because of a large entity. Roar! It was the king of the beasts, Kaido. Sidra finally understood. He made a big mistake. He felt his blood freeze from the sight of a dragon. Minutes later, King stood beside Kaido, who was standing on the deck of one of the 40 ships. Kaido-sama, since this job is already done, you should head back. I will take care of the small things here. Yeah? This wasn't fun at all, Kaido replied grumpily. While both of them were chattering, beside them in the sea, the leftovers of a wrecked ship were floating. They had burning marks, indicating the use of heat breath. Kaido lightly massaged his neck as he looked at King. King, it was a waste of time to come here. I will go now. Take care of the small fries that survived. You got that? King nodded. Yes. Kaido-sama. Kaido didn't spare any more time as he transformed into his dragon form and leaped in the sky, going towards Wano using an eternal log pose. That's how we come here. In Onigashima, while Yamato gained her consciousness under the debris of Jack's broken mansion, Kaido's shadow fell upon her. Kaido, with his veins pronounced, asked her, Yamato, what happened here? Yamato gulped in intimidation. It was clear what the king of the beasts would do when his subordinate was killed, and most importantly, when the diary of Odin was stolen. Meanwhile, in the sea, far from Wano, inside the ship of spade pirates, Amon was talking on a tone dial. From the other side, a sweet feminine voice sounded out. Yes, Kaido left Dressrosa hours ago. Without saying anything, Amon cut the line of the dial and looked in the sky. It was quite hard to notice his small smile under the mask. Rather than a disaster, this seemed like an opportunity. I wonder how it would be like to fight the king of the beasts. How far have I come? Amon was excited about the fight. He knew, now that Kaido was back, a fight between them was inevitable if he wanted Ace to get out of here safely and join the Whitebeard pirates. He was confident enough to hold up against Kaido, at least for a few days. Meh, I might even successfully kill him. Ugh, father, get up. Tell me what happened, Yamato, Kaido ordered with an angered face. Grabbing her head, Yamato sat down and explained to Kaido what she saw. How the man wearing an orange hat killed Jack ruthlessly. She didn't know his name, but Kaido knew it was Ace because of the report Jack made after returning from Risky Red Island. Suddenly, Yamato's face went dark as her eyes grew up while her mouth widened. She quickly touched her waist, the place where Odin's diary was kept. The place felt empty? No, it can't be. Feeling nothing, Yamato instantly jumped up and looked at Kaido, frustrated. Father, my diary is gone. Huh? What diary? Kaido answered with a confused yelp. Yamato told Kaido about Odin's diary, how she had it with her from the beginning. Hearing it, Kaido was more baffled than angry that she hid this truth. However, that didn't last long, as stress soon took over him. It took a while for him to make 2 + 2 = 4, and soon it was clear who stole the diary. The one who killed Jack, Ace. According to Jack's report, that kid has advanced Conqueror's haki. He is a threat even without that diary. I need to capture him and break his limbs. That should be enough. Kaido rarely kills promising younglings, like how in his fight with Luffy in the canon, he only threatened him to break his limbs, not kill him entirely. Still, he was still interested in the One Piece. He was the strongest creature, standing on the same level as Whitebeard, the strongest man. It was only natural that one of these two will be the next pirate king. Old Whitebeard has aged too much. He isn't even interested in that title too. Only I am left. That diary will help me achieve my dream. Worororo! Kaido suddenly felt a great amount of anger towards Yamato. But being her father, he had to stop himself from going to great lengths. He got up and just looked at her eyes with a frown. Yamato, return to your residence. I don't want to see you outside for 6 months. You are grounded. Am I clear? Yamato could only bite her lips in response. Kaido just walked from there and leaped in the sky in his dragon form, his last words being, "Don't worry, I will get the diary back." Meanwhile, Amon wasn't just idling around, waiting for Kaido to come. He finished the important stuff first, like leaving Jack's devil fruit in the sky along with the diary. The fight with Kaido will be hard, so he can't keep them with him, considering the worst situation. The question was, why fight Kaido? Amon already got the diary and successfully made Ace the suspect. He also got Tama. Won't the best possible course of action be, leave the Spade Pirates and let Kaido kill them? That would be smart, only if I didn't have more plans for Ace. Yes, Ace's fucked up life hadn't ended yet. There was a long road to it. I want Ace to join the Whitebeard Pirates. Then when Blackbeard escapes the crew, let Ace go after him and get captured like Cannon. This time, since Ace is stronger, Teach might fail. But I will help. The War of the Best is the most important thing for me. Amon had plans for Blackbeard, but he wanted him to live until the War of the Best. His body would be useful to him only after that. Also, Amon's thoughts were cut by a voice. Hey, it was Perry. As Amon turned around her, she hesitantly opened her mouth. Can we talk? Amon smirked internally. I've been waiting for you. It was midnight. Everyone was asleep. Perry took this opportunity to talk with Amon, a talk for the last time. So, what do you want to talk about with me? Amon asked casually while leaning on the fence of the ship. Well, Perry again hesitated, only to open her mouth minutes later. I heard you will leave with Otama after escorting us to Macurine Kingdom? Amon nodded. Yes, that's what I talked with Ace about. At first, he wanted me to leave you guys on Risky Red Island. He wanted to spend some time on the place where Deuce died, but I was against it since, you know, Kaido might come here soon. We then decided to leave for a random kingdom. Amon has told Ace about Kaido's potential arrival and offered that he would fight him. Ace was against it, but he was weak, so he had to listen. After this happened, Ace wished Kaido didn't spot the ship, but it was impossible with Kaido's massive body looking down from the sky. He would sooner or later discover this ship. So, after escorting you guys on that kingdom, I will take Tama and leave. Perry's eyes visibly lost light. Can't you become a part of the crew? After a short silence, Amon burst out snickering. It came from his heart. No can do, miss. My life is harsher than you think. This world isn't a seven-colored rainbow. Things aren't supposed to go as we want it to be. Perry's looked down on the floor. I see. You must have lived a hard life. She raised her head and looked at his eyes with a pair of determined eyes. I am sorry. The wind blew. 2 moons were visible in the sky. Perry's moist eyes were reflecting both of them to Amon's view. While her brown hair fluttered in the air, Amon was lost for a second. I don't like it. He didn't like doing this, but it was needed. He needed a spy within Whitebeard Pirates, and she was the best candidate. Amon sighed. Hey, Perry. Perry looked at Amon's eyes. Yes? Amon didn't say anything. He just took his mask off. Do you like me? Perry was speechless seeing his face. This was her first time seeing his face. She would have normally yelled happily, but her heart wasn't in that state right now. She simply felt happy that he was showing his face to her after traveling together for so long. I know I am being straightforward, but answer it. Do you like me? As another minute passed in silence, she finally processed what Amon said and opened her mouth. I don't know. She was being truthful. I am not sure I feel good around you, but is it love? I don't know. Perry scratched her arm. I know I don't make any sense, but maybe I love you. Maybe. Amon laughed. How interesting human emotions were. Laughing lightly, Amon stared at her rosy lips. You are surprisingly blunt, I like it. Without saying anything more, he walked closer to her. Perry instinctively stepped back, but Amon wrapped his arms around her. Good girl, I am very sorry. Perry didn't get the chance to intercept what he was apologizing for, as Amon put his lips above hers and kissed her deeply. She struggled since it was sudden as he chirped lightly, "Just enjoy it." As she gave herself up to the pleasure, Amon slowly raised his right hand towards her head and grabbed it from behind. Enjoy a deep sleep. Zzz. After making the now puppet Perry return to her room, Amon stood by the ship's deck while drinking mango juice from a glass. I hate this, yet... No, this is being hypocritical. I had this in my mind from the beginning. I am at fault. Saying that I don't like it would be hypocrisy at its best. But Amon chuckled, looking at the small moon in the sky. It was Moon 1 Faros, the place where he built a mansion. Do I care? Throwing the empty glass in the sea, Amon had one answer. No, only his goal mattered. Sacrifices are inevitable. Still. But I should be careful to not hurt the few people I have come to love after 19 years of this life. In the end, he just laughed. But it didn't last long. Phew, wind blew fast. He is here. 290 kilometers away, a high presence was coming towards this place. Kaido, Amon grinned. I need to call Ace and prepare their leave, minutes later. Roar, kid, where are you hiding? The voice of a rough beast sounded through the new world.